Hello people, welcome back to yet another video. Let's talk about Arsenal. So let's talk about first of all that interview that apparently has pissed off a lot of people for some unclear for me reasons, and that's Aaron Ramsdale's that are talking in that podcast. Now, first of all, my opinion here is I really don't care. I mean, for me it's a case of a parent just defending his kid. We we all know, at least those who have loving parents, that it doesn't matter if you're 3 years old or 30 years old, your parents will always try to defend you, right? So in this case, it's nothing strange really. Second of all, and that's probably the more important point here, is it's not like he went to a big media. It's not like he wanted to give this interview, to make a big deal of that. He was invited to a podcast as a guest to talk about different things. Obviously, the main thing they will be talking about is Aaron Ramsdale, since they invited Aaron Ramsdale's dad, right? So honestly, I don't understand what the big fuse here is. Um, the last thing is that personally, I listened to that interview. It was actually a very honest interview. To this podcast, it was very honest talk. I don't think Ramsdale's dad was anyhow disrespectful to the club or Arteta or David Raya, right? So really, I think they just made a huge deal out of nothing. Uh, I really hope that Arteta looks at this the same way, right? So it doesn't affect Rambo's future in the club. It doesn't matter if he leaves or he stays. Things like that should not affect really the future of the player, right? So that's it. Not gonna talk about this too much at all. So the next thing is obviously Mikel Arteta being charged by the Premier League for whatever reasons, right? It looks like they're just making up reasons to charge the managers. It's funny because, again, I don't understand what exactly Arteta said that was so disrespectful, or so insulting, or whatever the hell they said it was. Was it a disgrace? Well, yeah. I mean, this goal obviously was controversial, to say the least. Now, I didn't make a video after that Newcastle game. I didn't talk much about this goal being allowed at all. So I will do it. I will do it now, actually. So first of all, the three situations, right? The potentially ball being out, potential offside, and the potential fall on Gabriel Magalhaes. So I would understand, right? It was very hard to determine if the ball was out or not, because obviously no cameras on the lines, and yeah, I mean, since they cannot prove, they don't have the proof if the ball was out or it wasn't out, so they kind of decided to go with what's called on the pitch, right? And similar thing is in, for example, NHL, the National Hockey League. Basically, what happens there is if there is a situation when one team is challenging, they're not happy with something, they go, they review it, and if they don't have clear proof that the call was wrong, they will just go with the call on the ice, right? For example, if there is a goal and a team is challenging that there is no goal because the puck, for example, didn't cross the line, but when they try to review, it's not actually clear if the puck is crossing the line or not, so they'll just go with whatever the call on the ice is. So in this situation, okay, I agree, that's fine. The second situation, the offside, I don't think there was an offside at all, to be fair. It doesn't look like there was, and even if there was an offside, it's probably like 1 or 2 millimeters. So yeah, I mean, come on. I don't think there was, and you can see that on the replay. There's no way to see the ball in this case. It's not because of the cameras. It's simply because the ball is right under Joelinton. So again, not a big deal here. But the foul, like the third situation, the foul on Magalhaes, for me that's a clear foul. I mean, you can see the guy is pushing Magalhaes, and it was funny because what the Premier League official said is that right after 1 week of reviewing it, apparently that's how long they need. Basically, what they said is there is a fall. Oh, sorry, there is like the hands are on the back, but they don't see strong enough push. Now, I do understand that Gabriel Magalhaes is a big guy and a strong guy, but Joelinton is not a small guy either. It's not like Messi pushed him, right? It was Joelinton is quite the big guy. Okay, so they did what they did. It happened. Okay, so let's move on. The funny thing is that a couple of days later, Napoli plays in the Champions League. They score a goal, exactly the same goal, and the goal is disallowed because of a foul on the defender. Okay, so here goes the Howard's Web explanation. Well, we don't make the rules, it's UEFA. Well, apparently UEFA thinks that that's a foul. So, strike one. The second one, which was actually even more shocking, is a week later Chelsea plays Manchester City and City is awarded a penalty for a foul on Haaland. Right? So, first of all, Haaland is probably one of the strongest footballers in the world, and he went down like he was shot. And I think that Chelsea fans would kind of agree here that it was a very soft penalty. Now, if you're a Chelsea fan right now and you look at this situation, and you look at the situation Gabriel Magalhaes, you should be asking questions. What the hell, right? What the hell is going on? And that's the problem. That's why I said before that when it comes to situations like this, right? The worst probably this season was Liverpool goal disallowed against Tottenham. Fans should not be really bantering each other or the other club. We should really stick together and just kind of rise, right? Just make as much noise as we can and support our clubs when they're not happy. Now, Mikel Arteta obviously was pissed off, right? It was a tough game. It's going to Newcastle. It's not the easiest ground to visit. It's always a hard game. It's always a tough game. So obviously he will be pissed off. He prepared his team. He thinks he deserved more, and quite frankly, I also think the same. I think the draw would be probably the best result there for both teams. Not like the best, but you know what I mean. The fair result there. And all he said is the goal, it's a disgrace, right? It's not good enough. The officiating is not good enough. Well, what exactly he said and it was wrong, right? I mean, just a couple of days ago, Roberto De Zerbi just came out and said like he doesn't like 80% of the referees. So what now? You're gonna charge the guy as well? I mean, the officiating is absolutely shocking. It's just shocking. Now, the other thing that was quite funny, I mentioned it in the last video, is that the referees, right, this PGMO, whatever the hell the name is, to try to save their faces, they probably did the worst thing they could. Basically, they said, well, we basically asked this what they called it, this panel of ex-players, right? Like, first of all, who is in that panel? Are we talking about Jamie O'Hara, Jamie Redknapp, maybe Gary Neville? Like, yeah, I mean, of course, those guys will always defend Arsenal or Chelsea or Liverpool, right? Yeah, sure, no doubt about it. So, honestly, it's just a shocking thing. The richest league in the world, not gonna say the best league in the world. Some people like Spanish La Liga, some people like Italian Serie A. So I'm not gonna say the best league in the world, but definitely the richest league, or at least in Europe, the richest league in Europe, the most, how can I say it? Probably the hardest one, the most competitive. That's the word I was looking for in European continent. So, and that's the officiating we have. Shocking. And now they're punishing managers for just not being happy with this shit show. No, the refs are showing. Now, honestly, I really don't I really don't know what to say more about this. It's been here for like 2 weeks now. Sooner or later they will have to change it because teams will start to suffer a lot. Now imagine a bet call decides which team goes down and which team stays up. Imagine a bet call decides which team will play in the Champions League or which team will play in Europe or not. Can you imagine what huge difference in the financial situation for the team that will suffer it will have, right? So what next? They will apologize again, or they will refund the team for those mistakes. And the worst part is that you listen to those pundits out there. I mean, there's seriously, I mean, there's some serious ass kissing going on. I really don't understand how can you defend this. I have listened to some players saying, well, it wasn't like what they said. It wasn't enough of a push to get a foul. I'm sorry, like, isn't the rule book says if it's a push, it's a foul. If it's not a push, it's not a foul. Like, where exactly do they have like those sensors that measure the force that they're being pushed? And we don't know about those. If they have, they probably have to show us. It will be very interesting to see. But honestly, to God, that's just a total shit show. So let me know what you think. Share the video, like the video, and up to the next one.